Okay, we are live. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Most Gracious. Today, the date is February 10th. The time is 10:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when I'm on my side of the world. I'm in Toronto right now. I'm the Chief Examiner, Muhammad Faisal, at Nafi. We have with us Muhammad Nauman Ayyub. He is going for his diploma in cloud cybersecurity exam, EduQual level 3, RQF level 3. It's an easier exam. It's not level 4, 5, or the tougher one, level 6. It's an easier one. You have to show me, some of the things, learn about consensus model, all of these things. Do you have all of these
Yes, sir,
things
I
ready
can.
to show me?
Yes, sir.
Because
Yes,
I
sir.
would like to, if you have reviewed the new guidelines that we have provided to everyone, they have to show me their working of how they develop the solution, how does it work, how does it run, all of those things, right? So this topic is blockchain security and smart contract protection. Now, of course, this topic introduces blockchain technology and its security aspects, emphasizing smart contracts, vulnerabilities, consensus mechanisms, and data integrity in decentralized environments. Students will practice identifying common blockchain risks and explore open source tools for testing and security and securing smart contracts. Now, keep this in mind. Uh, I'm not interested in some of these things, like Bitcoin and stuff like that. No, the smart contracts are used as an authentication mechanism, as a mechanism to identify different devices. So think of it from a networking perspective, because your background is in networking. If there are different devices introduced within the network or already part of the network, how do they authenticate to themselves? How do they establish connection and connectivity and security and assurance that it is coming from our own base or our own office or our own back office or whatever the case is, right? So the implications and the implementation of the smart, blockchain security and smart contracts, it's far-reaching in every aspects of technology we can think of, right? So this is what I'm
Yes,
looking for. There are some certain key learning objectives: understanding the basic structure and purpose of blockchain technology, identifying common vulnerabilities in blockchain systems and smart contracts, explore open source tools like Ganesh, Truffle, material for contract security testing, learn about consensus model, proof of work, proof of stake, and their security implications, study the relevance of ISO 23244, the 2020 version, and the NISTIR 8202 blockchain standard, which is widely used in the industry, demonstrate secure deployment of sample smart contracts. So you have to demonstrate to me a sample contract. This
yes,
is
sir.
very important. I need to see,
Yes, sir.
because everything has a mark, and collectively, the exam, there are two parts: the presentation, 15 to 20 minutes, followed by an interview, 30 to 40 minutes. So the whole exam can be wrapped up between 45 to 60 minutes. But I would like to see, how does this thing work. So the first thing is, you have to talk about the topic in the presentation, but also demonstrate a simple blockchain transaction using an open source test network. So you have to show me all of those things. Noman,
Yes, sir.
are you ready to start your
Yes,
presentation?
sir. And
Can you
thank you,
please
sir.
share your screen? Okay.
Sir, my name is Mohammad Numaniyu.
Just
I'm
wait, just
doing
wait, just wait, just wait. Okay. You may start your presentation now. 10:55. Go. Bismillah.
my presentation topic is blockchain security and smart contract. Before fully appreciate the security features of blockchain, it's very important for us to understand the limitations inherited with centralized system, where all the power and authority was held by a single entity, and this produce significant risks and justify the reason moving towards decentralized system. Some of the drawbacks of centralized systems are given here, like centralized control, like a bank or single entity hold all the power and transactions. Single point of failure, as data is running on a single server, that server could be hacked, or power fluctuation, or hardware malfunctions. In any scenario, in our scenario, whole networks collapse, and the availability of that data to users uh, goes. Risk of data tampering, in centralized system, there is a single database administrator. He could tamper the data, modify it, or delete it without anyone knowing, and this produces a significant risk for data integrity. Need for trusted third parties, as we don't have a direct approach to our data, so we are forced to put a blind trust on third parties, and this trust comes with cost in shape of finance, and also with risk. Like at the end, they are human. They could make mistakes intentionally or with malicious intent. Slow and expensive financial system. Like in case of international transactions, there are intermediate available, third parties available. Their procedures are outdated and manual. Even some banks takes a week to month for international transactions. So this slide is about groundbreaking research paper written by W. Scott and Stuart Haber. How to timestamp a digital document. This document was written in 1991, and the problem with digital documents are that they can easily modified or tampered or backdated. Like how we can prove that our document is not changed. This can be they in this document they provide the solution with two things. Number one was linking scheme, and number two was distributed scheme. Linking scheme is like it's a service called hash, like a digital fingerprints of documents. It combines itself in series of chain. Like at some point, if someone tries to modify the chain, the whole chain will collapse. And in distributed scheme means like uh, our data is not stored at a central server. It is distributed among different nodes, and every node has a exact copy of that data. If in order to change the data, he has to acquire more than 50% of the whole network. So blockchain is technology. It is decentralized, distributed digital ledger that store information in chain of blocks. It is like a spreadsheet which is shared among different nodes, and its properties are: it is decentralized uh, structure. It makes it tamper proof, transparent, secure without needing any central authority. Data tamper proof, it is maintained by hashing. Transparent means everyone can see his or her data, like no behind the walls. These are the features with which blockchain fixes the limitation of centralized system. It is decentralized. Like if one node is down or two nodes are down, uh, our data, we can still access our data because it is decentralized. Immutable means that nobody can modify or change our data without noticing the whole network. If someone try to change it, whole network could understand that he's changing the data. Transparency means everyone can see the data. Census means like in order to process a transaction, there is a census mechanism which is used. Validation, after census mechanism validation, different nodes valid that transaction, removing middleman and high security. A block usually consists of three parts: block header, transactions, and other block data. In block header, we have previous block's hash, and the very first block is called is called Genesis block. Then we have timestamp, nonce, difficulty, and marker. Timestamp is like when a timestamp in timestamp it's the data like when this block was created. Nonce is a field which is used by miners to find the hash of the block. Difficulty tells us like how much difficult it is to create a new block. Transaction, in transaction section we have sender and receiver's address, wallet address, amount, fees, and fees. Like if a miner solves the puzzle, how much fees he is getting, and also here comes the smart contract data. In other blockchain data, we have miner reward, smart contract logs, and validator signature. Validator signature is there is also a consensus model which is proof of stake. When a when a node or validator verifies a transaction, his signatures comes here. Then we have hash. Hash is a one-way function. It works like if we provided some input, it gives us a string of numbers or characters. If anyone tries to change the data and we run again the hash function, it will give us different output. Hash ensures data integrity, secure blockchain linking. Ensure data integrity, like if someone tries to change the data, our hash will change. Secure block linking, like in a linking, new block contains the hash of previous block. So everything is linked together, and if we try to change at any point, the link will break. Protect against tampering, ensure mining fairness, and generate wallet address. Generate wallet address is like our public keys. It encrypts it. A hash generates a hash of our public key and transmits it. And if somebody cannot revert it back, like he cannot find the private key with reverse engineering. There are three different types of hash which are usually used: SHA-256, which is used in Bitcoin, and KESAC-256. Ether blockchain use this technology, and SHA-3. For hash demo, I'm using this site. So here you can see, if I type something, the hash of this data is here. And if I try to modify a very simple change, like if I add a dot, its hash is totally different. So after hash, we have our block.
In your
So this is
presentation, where does it say is demonstrate a simple blockchain transaction using an open source test network? Can you show me that, please?
yes, sir. I have a video of that, sir.
No, can you show me running the code and everything? Do you have that?
Yes, sir. I can show you, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, continue quickly, because you only have 10 minutes left in the presentation, and I would like to see that well at the very end, right? So I don't want you to focus time in terms of explaining me the definitions. I don't want the definitions. I want you to explain to me the topic and how this ties up and talks about the security implications and all the other implications as mentioned in the learning objectives and the key
Okay,
delivery
sir.
of your exam, right? So
Okay,
continue,
sir.
please.
Some of the applications of blockchain are given below, like product tracking. smart contract, healthcare, and international wire transfer. Smart contract, if I try to explain it with an example, it's like if a startup is, if there is a startup and they wants uh, finance from investors, in usual contract, they have to involve a bank. But if they are using smart contract, everything will be done automatically. Smart contract is basically a piece of code of if then statements. If conditions comes true, it moves forward. So it is removing human factor and taking intelligent decisions. Smart contracts are smart because there is no layer of government or any third parties. If usually contract takes to complete a process 1 to 3 days, smart contract can do that in minutes. There is everything is automatically processed and transparency is available, cryptographically secure and cheap and digital signature. Some of the famous vulnerabilities are given below. Access control vulnerability is like when there is a very less uh, uh, like a lack of sufficient permission control. One of the attack happened in 2017 was a parity multi-sig wallet attack. They were using a library and there was a function called init wallet. An attacker changed modify that function because there was no enough access control that he changed himself as an owner and took about 30 million. Price oracle manipulation attack. It's like a smart contract cannot access real world data directly. They have to depend upon price oracles for prices for exchange rates. The attack happened when an attacker intentionally changed the price of an oracle. Attacker usually take use flash loans on decentralized exchange on which our smart contract is depending. Smart contract change its behavior and he is considering that this centralized exchange is giving me right data, but actually the data was fed by attacker. So we could lose million of dollars in this case. To prevent this type of attack, we can use decentralized price oracles. Logic error is happen when like unlike computers, computer cannot distinguish between right or wrong. It just understands the logic as true or false. It happens due to coding errors like a coder use subtraction instead of addition. As a blockchain transactions are irreversible, so in this type of attack, we could lose lot of money. We can prevent this type of attacks by using open Zeppelin type libraries. Lack of input validation happens when there are it's like a SQL injection type attack. In this type of attack, user try to give undesired inputs to the contract, and we can prevent this type of attack by using fuzzing tool, which before going our contract live, it tests our contract with hundreds of undesired inputs. Reentrancy attack, it's like if I'm standing on an ATM and trying to get some cash and I'm pressing my button again and again before its initial state change at backend. Unchecked external call happen when an contract calls another contract and changes behavior without knowing it. Flash loan attack happens. It's like in real world, if I'm standing in a bank and I ask a manager to give me 1 million, I don't have an ID, but I will return you a minutes later. But he will probably he will throw me out of bank. But in blockchain, it's a legitimate function. Attacker take loan, and after that they manipulate a small market like oracles we have studied earlier, and the highest created, he takes his refund, he takes his portion and return the real amount. Integer overflow and underflow, it can be explained by like a speedometer of car. Like if I'm driving a car and a meter goes to 999, and after that I drive it one more meter, the meter will go to again its initial condition like 000. It's not that my car is new, it's just meter is limitation exceeds. Same like that, integer overflow and underflow happens. Integer underflow is very dangerous. Like if a attacker have a zero balance and he somehow decrease -1 from initial amount, the output will wrap up to maximum. Insecure randomness happens. Blockchain randomness for timestamp. Hackers can predict or influence these random values to win unfair lotteries. Denial of service attack is like it's like DOS attack, where an attacker gives undesired task to a contract and stop legitimate users from accessing the contract. This type of attack is very common, and in here we have chances like if smart contract is not responding to our legitimate transaction, we cannot reverse it. Census model proof of work, it says that in order to validate a new transaction, different miners take parts with their computational power. He who first solved the puzzle send that to other nodes. Other nodes validate it, and after that, a new block is added to the chain and miner is rewarded. It is robust against robust security against tampering, because in order to hack it, if someone try to hack it, he has to hack about 51% of the network. But problem with this type of work is like it's very energy consuming. Proof of stake says that instead of everyone takes part for solving a puzzle, anyone with capital can take part. Like if 10% wants to solve a puzzle, they will put some coins at stake and one of them will be chosen. And after that, he solved the puzzle, uh, it will be sent to the other for validation. And if that is valid, he can take his reward. It is very energy efficient. Relevancy of ISO TR 232442020 and NISTR 8202. Sir, how much time I have left?
Nauman, you only have 1 minute left. You don't have much time. Uh, I think that we're going to take a pause over here. You have to show me the presentation, demonstrate what was required as per the examination requirements. Can you please do that for me, please? If you can show me
Yes, sir.
a simple blockchain transaction using open source test network, identify a potential vulnerability in a smart contract and suggested a fix and explain the role of cryptographic hashing and blockchain integrity. You explained a lot, but now I need to see one and two. How does it work, please?
Sir, I am opening Ganesh. It's like a simulator. It creates an environment on our system for checking our smart contracts.
Bismillah.
So on my system, I have installed Node, NPM, and Truffle. So as you can see, there are no con contracts right at this time. I have a contract already. The contract is already compiled. So I'm now pushing it on our Ganesh, sir. Sir, here you can see our contract has been deployed on our machine. Here, contract has been created, sir.
How long it took you to develop this thing? This is a very basic project. How long it took you?
Sir, whole presentation and preparation took me, sir, 1 month, sir.
What kind of model you use to develop the code and try to find the understanding in all of those things from an AI perspective?
Sir, ChatGPT, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Sir,
Yeah,
here
that's
I'm connecting with my contract. Now I will deposit 1 Ethereum to my contract, sir.
if you would have done like a
Sir,
specialization or something like that, you would have been able to work in the industry in the blockchain. There's a ton of jobs in the blockchain. Of course, now the development is very easy. The deployment is very easy. The amount of labs we have given in the blockchain is too much to handle, right? Anyway, so
yes, sir.
that's another
Sir,
thing.
now I will. Now you can see that our balance 99 Ethereum, sir. One transaction is our successful transaction. Now I will perform a withdraw. Sir, I made 2 calls, and again our balance came to 100 Ethereum. So our blockchain is working. Uh, Sir, in order to test the vulnerabilities, I have installed Mithril on my Docker. Although I already have done this lab, I am removing previously created logs of Mithril so we can get fresh output, sir. So right now you can see no container is running, but I have image of Mithril. So our container started and now Mithril took our code We gave it a path that here our contract is available, and I'm storing my output in a file. File is created, but it will give output after completing its process. It will take 1 to 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. That's good enough demo. Um, Prior to the demo, you secured 17 marks out of 25 in the presentation. But after looking at the demo that you have done a good effort, I gave you 20 out of 25, right? So let's jump into the
Yes,
Q&A.
sir.
The presentation, look, this is my feedback. You can stop the sharing of the screen because we don't have much time. The time is very important for us over here. Now, the presentation, of course, you need to work on your presentation skills. This is very important for you. You have to be much more fluid. It's very dry because you're coming from from a military background, right? So you have to bring in some, I would say, some ridge to it in terms of like how you present to it, the presentation. Uh, this is my feedback for you. If you would have talked about, I don't focus on the accent itself, right? That's fine. What the message needs to go there. So the message needs to resonate, right? So the presentation skills you need to build upon is how you present your findings. Of course, you have to improve that, but then also you also have to improve on, how you present your topic. Don't go into the definitions of explaining the definition, right?
Yes,
Define how it works at a business level and what are the vulnerabilities that business needs to look into, right? Of course, this is a level
yes,
3 exam. It's much more easier. If this would have been level 6, it would have been very difficult for me to give you higher marks. You may even passing would be difficult, right? Because level 6 is way different. Okay. But anyway, we will go into all the other details later on. So let's jump into the questions. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, explain how blockchain eliminates the single point of failure, in a centralized system.
sir. Unlike a centralized system, there is only one server. But in blockchain, everybody who is connected to the network, he shares the copy of whole chain, sir. If a node is down, we can still access the data via other nodes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, uh, it's a good enough answer, but like, you have to mention, I mean, I will give you some scores for that, but it's like, blockchain replaces centralized control with distributed consensus, right? That's what the blockchain
Yes,
really does. Instead of one authority storing and validating data, multiple nodes independently verify transactions. This redundancy ensures that failure or a compromise of one node does not affect systems availability or data integrity, thereby
yes,
eliminating a single point of failure. This is how you have to explain, right? This explanation is very important because that gives me the idea that yes, you can speak. Okay. All right.
yes.
Okay. So, differentiate to me the proof of work and the proof of stake from a security perspective.
From a security perspective, these both are a consensus model, but their working is different, sir. In proof of work, we create the layer of security uh, with energy consumption, sir. And in proof of stake, we create the layer of security with stack. Like in proof of work, anybody who wants to validate a transaction, he has to burn energy. But in proof of stake, if someone try to validate a transaction, he has to put some stake on risk or in game.
So, if you remove the energy perspective, just explain
Ji
to me
sir.
that from a securities perspective, now differentiate the proof of work and proof of stake. Remove the energy perspective. So, proof of work secures what? Secures something that you have been working on all your life, right? What is that?
Proof of
Proof of work secures
sir.
what? I mean, your network title, what is it? Your title is network admin, right? So proof of work
Yes sir.
secures network, right? It secures the
Yes sir.
network through computational difficulty, right?
Yes.
Making attacks economically expensive. That's what it does, the proof of work.
Yes
And
sir.
the proof of stake secures what? Proof of work
Proof of
secures, proof of stake, sorry, proof of stake secures what? Dekho, listen,
sorry.
you can answer this question, otherwise you will lose the full points, right? एक है proof of work, एक है proof
Yes
of
sir.
stake. दोनों किसके लिए हैं? I don't need energy perspective. I'm asking about security perspective. दोनों किस चीज को secure करते हैं? What do they secure? Network,
Network sir.
right? Okay, this is what you have been doing all your
Yes
life,
sir.
right? So you are going to Saudi military or any other military in the MENA region, like in the GCC region, and they have this blockchain security embedded within their network to secure their devices and everything, right? So there is proof of work and there's proof of stake. Proof of work secures network through computational difficulty, making attacks economically expensive. It becomes very expensive for anyone to launch an attack, right? And the proof of stake does what? It secures the network through what?
It's it secure the network
Okay.
through.
It secures the network through financial risk, where validators risk losing staked assets if malicious behavior is detected. But both
Sir
rely
वो
on economic deterrence, right? We have different threat models. The threat modeling of them, both of them is different. That's what I was trying to ask you. Okay,
sir
let's move on to the next question. These are easy questions, by the way. Haven't even started the tough ones. Uh, why are smart contracts described as deterministic and why it is important for security?
sir, can you please ask in some
So,
other ways?
okay, so smart contracts, the smart contracts, they're known as deterministic in nature, right? Right?
Deterministic means sir.
If I tell you that, then the whole answer is done, right? So, okay, let me twist it in a different way. Smart contracts, what are the core important security features of smart contract? क्या important features in smart contract? What are those?
Core security features
What are the core important security features of smart contract?
sir, they are deployed on blockchain technology, and itself blockchain technology is very difficult for hacking or all those type of stuff, sir. Core feature of smart contracts are uh, they are statements of if and else statements. Sir, actually, I know, sir, but I'm very confused right now, sir.
Okay, do you need some water? Because
Yes, sir.
have some water.
Thank you.
So you in your presentation you talked about Oracle manipulation, right?
Yes, sir.
Why is it particularly dangerous to DeFi systems?
Oracle manipulation is dangerous for systems like if someone is depending on a single Oracle feed, and that oracle field is manipulated by an attacker. He thinks that it is the original field, and we can lose our money in this scenario, sir.
Is that your answer? Like, is that the whole answer you want to give? The oracle manipulation occurs. Why does it occur? When external price feeds are tampered with, right? It's a tampering attack. Since smart
Yes, sir.
contracts trust oracle blindly,
Oracle,
when,
yes, sir.
manipulated prices can trigger incorrect contract logic, enabling attackers to drain funds or exploit the lending mechanism, right? So that's the answer I was looking for. Okay, this is the final question before the power play is over. Then we will move on to the tougher questions. So you showed me truffle, ganache, material, how do tools like these, the truffle, the ganache, actually, you know what ganache, how does ganache comes from? You know what ganache is?
It's a tool, sir. It's a simulator.
No, no. So actually, it's a mixture of chocolate, right? So this
Okay.
is what the name itself. The reason I know is like, I do baking with my daughter, right? So if you just search ganache, ganache is a versatile mixture of chocolate and cream,
Okay, sir.
right? So if you look that, you will see this is what ganache is. It's a very creamy chocolate, right? Because my daughter loves baking with me. So whenever like she's with me, she says like on a weekend, she says, I have to do baking with you, Baba. I said, okay. That's how I learned the name ganache. But yes, the tool is there, and that's how when you load the tool, you see that brownie piece with the melted right thing. That's how the tool
Yes,
came up. So know the tools that you're working with. Okay. So how
yes,
do tools like truffle? Truffle is again another thing which is a sweet that we make. There's truffle chocolates. There's truffles that you find. It's a real edible fungi. It's a mushroom. You can say that a tree root, right? It's a price gourmet thing that people look for, right? So uh, not I wouldn't say a mushroom, but it's from the same family, I guess, right? People eat it. So let's go to the question. So tools like truffle, ganache, and material collectively improve smart contract security. How?
sir.
How do they do it?
Before going live, before we uh, push our contract on in live environment, we can check our contract with these tools. We can use Ganesh for testing, like our contract is behaving correctly, like it should perform in real world, and we can check the vulnerabilities with Mithril. It takes our codes and perform a whole scan on it and gives us known vulnerabilities, like reentrancy attack or guard attack, like these type of attacks. So these tools are best practices before we publish our code live, sir, or push our contract live, sir.
Okay, the first round is over. Jumping to the tougher round. Okay, so let's go down that path. Um, so how does you know you're talking about flash loan attacks, right? Right.
Yes, sir.
So how does a flash loan attack exploit the atomicity in blockchain transactions?
Sir,
How does it do
flash loan attack basically happens in three steps, sir. In first step, attacker takes the loan. In second step is chaos step, like in which he manipulates the uh, a oracle of market, and or after that manipulating the market, he takes its profit and pay the loan and exit from the market, sir.
Okay. So in your topic, there was the NISTIR 8202 standard, right? How does
Yes,
it
sir.
how does it contribute to the security architecture design for blockchain?
Sir, initially when blockchain's technology were introduced, most of the systems were designed with only focus on decentralization and immutability, sir. A very less focus was given to security standards or privacy frameworks. And when the usage of blockchain increases in health sector or financial sector, two major problems occur, like how we can secure sensitive data on a system, on a network where data cannot be modified. And second one was how we can develop a secure blockchain system where technology itself is very complex and still evolving, sir. So ISO sir resolves the privacy issue. Uh, like problem occurs when we directly store our PII information like our NIC card or our health record on blockchain. That this is uh, a contradiction with the privacy laws. Privacy laws state that data must be destroyed at some point, or ISO gave a solution that instead of uh, writing the data directly on the chain, save it in the form of hashes or in the form of references.
Okay.
And
Now,
uh,
so
yes, sir.
you're explaining me the process, right? I'm asking you, how does it contribute, right? So the answer, you got some score, but the answer is like the NISTIR 8202 provides a standard terminology, a standardized terminology, architectural components, and categories, right? You need the
Yes,
threat
sir.
categories, right? Enabling consistent security modeling, risk
Yes, sir.
identification, and control alignment across blockchain systems. I mean, that's what it is, right? That's what I was looking for, not like a long answer, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so, given a smart contract data, right, flow diagram that you have, identify the exact point where well, no, let's take it from I would say, you know, post network architecture. Do you know post network architecture?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm trying to see if I can give you level three questions. I don't want to go into level six or level five because my mind always drifts towards the tougher questions, right? This is a level three exam, so we stick to that. That's much better. Okay. So you join as a junior blockchain security analyst, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
joined in as a junior blockchain security analyst. Uh, there's a DeFi protocol. Uh, they're using DeFi protocol, which passes all static scans, but is later exploited, right? It was passing all the scans, but later it got exploited. What is your post-incident technical explanation? How would you do that?
Uh, Sir, I will say that we cannot say that anything is 100% secure, sir. New uh, attacks emerge every day, like zero-day attack or that type of stuff. Security is ongoing effort.
Re-
So
Listen to the question again, okay? Listen to the question again. The answer is in my question. So you joined in as as a junior blockchain, security analyst, right? And they're using DeFi protocol, but they're using static scans. The DeFi protocol passes all the static scans. I'm saying The DeFi
Okay, sir.
protocol passes all the static scans, but is later exploited. So, what is your
Okay.
post-incident technical explanation or debriefing that you would do?
We
What
can
did you miss?
we can do, sir, dynamic scans, or we can perform.
Yes. Now, hold on, hold on. But before you answer, now you are able to pick it up, right? So pay attention. You can do it. You can do it, Masha. You have good, sharp mind, mashallah, right? Because this is because of your service. So now explain to me what do we do in static scan, and then say this is why we failed. We should have done dynamic scans, etc., etc. But before we do that, what does static scan really does? Explain that to me.
Static scan and difference between dynamic scan is, uh, static scan are performed before our code goes live, sir, and dynamic scans are performed
No, no,
when
no,
our code is
no, 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 no,
running, sir.
no, 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 no. Okay, no, no, no. You lost everything. The static analysis detects known vulnerabilities patterns, not economic or logical exploits. This is in terms of
Yes,
your, DeFi protocol. The incident likely involve Oracle manipulation, incentive misalignment, or a cross protocol interactions that require system level threat modeling beyond static scans. You see, and that's where the all the other things comes in, right? So the dynamic scans and all the other things, this is way different. The security of blockchain is different from how we treat security of a network, because they both behave differently, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, so a lending protocol, just like Oracle, a lending protocol uses a single price Oracle, right?
Yes, sir.
And it supports flash loans and updates balances after external calls, right? It does
Yes,
that.
sir.
Using a combined architecture and the data flow diagram that you explain in your things, describe the full kill chain of an exploit. How would you already did that, but now explain it to me here. How will the kill chain of the exploit will work?
Sir, you are asking about Oracle, sir.
Explain to me how the flash loan attack would basically play out.
Flash loan attack. Sir, in flash loan attack, taking a loan is a legitimate function in blockchain, sir. In flash loan, attacker takes a huge loan, and after that, with that loan, he manipulates the Oracle feed of a small market, sir. And after that, a contract which is depending on that Oracle, he changes its behavior accordingly. He thinks that it is the right Oracle feed, sir. And then attacker again comes. He takes his he takes his profit and pay the loan and go on. If there is multiple oracles were implemented, they gives a flash loan that is more secure, sir.
Okay, let's take a step back. The final question, you know, why a manual code review still considered the final security gate? There's always a stage gate or security gates, right? Why is it considered the final security gate despite automated tools? Why?
Because tools cannot understand the business logic, sir. That's why we perform manual code reviews, sir.
Yes, I mean, okay, so let's update this question further. You have already got the
Yes, sir.
marks. I mean, it's very simple because tools do not understand business logic. But these are tools. What about LLMs? What about AI?
Uh, sir, at this time, uh, I will say they are not intelligent enough, sir. Still, we need manual
Oh,
code review, sir,
no, 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 no.
because
So, no, no, no. Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay. Uh, I will show you something that my team showed today, right? And I'm just going to show you some things just today, just today. Last night it was an email coming to me. When I ask the questions, I always ask the questions in a way that I know what I'm looking for, right? So let me show you something. Where is Samir? Uh, so I'm going to show you, you know, what do we really do, right? So for all of these people who are sitting out there, there are certain things. You see something in the, and this is Amreen, Irtaza, and Rabia Shahzadi, whoever that person is, I don't know. But this is live. In the enterprise world, things work very, very differently. Okay? So I'm going to show you, we have many applications behind the scene, right? So we picked up one application and I asked them to scan that application, and they did that. Look, this is as per your direction. I conducted an AI based code review today using Claude Opus 4.6 via the enterprise API. And the process began with a structured audit of both the cloud backend application code bases to ensure accuracy and minimize hallucination risks. I used a control chunking methodology. This is what I'm telling my team to do. Nauman, Ayyub, okay?
yes, sir.
Reviewing the code application wise and following your approved prompt structure, because I give them the instructions. This allows the AI to analyze logic, architecture, risk areas while preserving full system context. The application was uh, 800,000 lines of code. The cost was $25.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And if I tell you how he analyzed the application was analyzed from PCI DSS perspective, all the requirements of PCI DSS, all the requirements of ISO 27001, all the requirements of 22301, all the requirements of 27017 and 018, all the requirements of our business requirements, what the unit testings are, design unit testing, design DevSecOps processes, design the data operational processes, design basically the digital transformation requirements. So we give them all the mandates, multiple mandates, right? And then
Okay,
the AI was able to do the task. Millions of lines of codes were given to the AI, and AI did that. This is beyond, So the AI, the tools don't do business logic testing, but the AI does. I
yes,
will
sir.
show you one thing because I can't show you all the things, in our company, what is happening, right? So there's a ton of things happening at the back end, right? I'll show you one thing, right? So give me 1 minute. So this is the mandates. Each and every department has a mandate. So this is SysOps team mandate. This is data operations team mandate. So the AI was connecting looking at the mandate. It read all the mandates of all the teams. You see teams? These are the core technical teams that reports to me. These are the security and compliance team that reports to me. There are customer facing and marketing teams that reports to the CFO. Okay. Academic and
Yes,
learning system operations team that reports to me and the CFO. Finance and operations team that reports to the CFO. Okay. People and workspace management teams that reports to the CFO. This is the employee advancement, retention, and nurturing program that we have developed, where we train our employees with the next generation skills. All of these teams, right? And there's a global customer acquisition task force. So it reviewed the mandates of each and every team. So if I show you the mandate, let me show you one mandate, right? So this is the mandate. If I have to show you, so this is the mandate objective of the SysOps team. The SysOps team at a Nafi Group is responsible for ensuring the stability, scalability, security, compliance, and governance of all the customer, internal and customer facing applications hosted on AWS, Azure, and Kubernetes environments. See? So it reviewed all of this thing and it looked into the application, all of these things. And this is their KPIs
Okay.
and everything. And it reviewed and it said, you know what? These lines they meet, these lines they don't meet the requirements. This is next generation stuff.
Okay.
You won't see this happening on LinkedIn because they don't know. They're talking about stupid stuff. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that. I shouldn't use this S word, right? But this is the next generation stuff. Bigger companies think like that. We are already, so I said, okay, this whole thing that we have created is now scoring the application. So if I go back to the email, right? If I go back to the email, hold on, where is that email? So this is for you to understand, I mean, how things are changing in the world, right? As you go out there. By the way, in AI Ops, we are giving, this is a new task given to the students, right? So he mentioned all this. I said, and he provided me all the results, code, machines app code, user dashboard code, accounts code, all of these things. I said, okay. I said to him, always start with salam and bismillah rahman rahim. Please walk me through the report tomorrow morning. This was 14 hours ago. He presented me the morning today at 5:45 a.m. Before my Fajr time. I was sitting with my team going through this thing. And he said, Inshallah. Okay. So at night time, कल रात को उसने 12 बजे मैंने उसको बोला कि यार मुझे सुबह दिखाना है क्या है 9:30 बजे मैंने बोला उसको एंड देन ही टोल्ड मी मेरे रात के 12 बजे मैं सो चुका था ऑफ कोर्स आई स्लेप्ट सो आई वोक अप नॉर्मली आई वेक अप लाइक 4:30 दैट्स माय डे स्टार्ट्स 4:30 एम सुबह 4:30 बजे 5 बजे उठता हूँ कभी 4:30 बजे उठता हूँ 4:15 बजे उठता हूँ तैयारी करता हूँ आई प्रिपेयर माई सेल्फ दिस इज वट यू हैव टू डू यू अंडरस्टैंड this is
Inshallah.
the next generation stuff. This is what you have to do over there if you want to go and work in Saudi. They are using the next generation stuff. They're not using old Cisco technology, this and that. Yes, this is all gone. The world is changing very, very fast. So you all have to change yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay? If you sit with
That's why
me,
I took
if you
part in
sit
this
with those
diploma.
people who are sitting with me, like who work with me for even a year, they are completely transformed. The whole transformation for you is in the Al Razak labs because I have already put everything there. Everything there. Everything is there. If you pay attention. But obviously, in level 6 of Al Razak, it covers everything. Level 5, level 4, level 3. This is you, level 3. So you only can learn this. But to learn how to climb up the tree, it's going to take you some time.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So right now, you are, I mean, if I have to see, if I have to show you, एक बिल्ली होती है जो दरख्त पे चढ़ जाती है राइट और एक टाइगर होता है
Yes,
अभी
sir.
तुम बिल्ली हो खाली that's the thing
Yes, sir.
right so you right now you're just a cat to become a tiger a heavy duty tiger and still be able to climb the tree that's AI ops for you okay all right the exam is
Yes,
over
sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim so let me compile the results 5 6 7 7.5 okay how was your exam
Sir, actually, according to time, my slides were
no not the
bigger or
not there but
more
other
in
things as
numbers.
well yeah other things as well but it's okay I mean exams are meant to be tough. They are tough, right? Okay, in the presentation, you secured 20 out of 25 because you were able to present me the things, right? In the Q&A, you were able to secure 15 out of 25, right? And so in the presentation, that's 80%. In the Q&A, it's 60%. Altogether, you secured 70%. Okay, final score.
Yes.
Okay, you have passed your exam. Okay, now
Um,
this is my recommendation. This was level 3. So this is what you have to do. ये तुम्हें अब करना है. You need to learn a lot of things. तुम्हें बहुत सारी चीजें सीखनी है. Go and complete our Razak labs.
yes.
Razak labs सारी complete करो. If you really want to go and work in Middle East, yes, you have the master's degree. You have the experience at the military, जो तुम्हारे भी काम आएगा. But you have to update your resume significantly, right? That's one thing.
Yes.
Second thing is you need to learn artificial intelligence because wherever you go, whatever you do, AI is penetrated heavily, right? If you can show in the military one thing and manage it effectively, that is tamam jo unke systems hain, whatever systems they have, if you monitor them through artificial intelligence, you do that one project and you show it to them, you will secure the job there in Saudi Arabia. Period.
Okay, sir.
But you need to learn. That is something we have taught you in AI ops. First, stabilize yourself, learn all the things, right? If you really want to be in the security side, if that's what you want to do. Now, if you want to go into the private sector, if you want to go into the financial sector, all of those things, yes, you can do that. There's a lot of companies in the financial side and all of those things working in Saudi Arabia as well. You can go there. Keep your options open for all the sectors,
Yes.
inshallah. Okay, that is my recommendation for you. Complete the labs, then start applying for higher and better paying jobs, inshallah. Okay. May Allah give you more success. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay. Good effort. You know, the topic was different, but you can see the wider implications of the topic. Topic बहुत सारी जगहों पे है, ठीक है ना?
Yes.
So if you think about, back in 2016, I recorded a message for Pakistan Army, and I gave it to one of the guys to give it to the corps commander in Karachi, 16, 17 something, right? और वो देकर आया उसको. And that was how to implement blockchain security in the networks of Pakistan Army, right? That's how I got inside and they started talking to me, right? If they would have implemented that solution, they would have been in a different level. But they don't have
Okay,
it,
sir.
right? They do things on their own. They have, I mean, अपने मर्जी के मालिक हैं, सब अपनी मर्जी से करते हैं. ठीक है भाई, जाओ करो, ठीक है ना? सही है. But the point is कि there's a lot of room for improvement. They should
Yes,
focus
sir.
on open source technologies. They should be independent of others rather than using these Cisco equipment and whatnot. Use the equipments open source, right? But they're not there yet. दुनिया की सारी militaries जो हैं, they harness the power of open source rather than using proprietary stuff, right? They use
Yes.
proprietary stuff. That's a very, very bad way of doing business, right? But anyway, that's their own
Sir,
methodology.
excuse me, sir. I have a question, sir.
जी, बिस्मिल्लाह. Yes.
सर अभी मैं डायरेक्ट जॉब हंटिंग कर दूं स्टार्ट या कुछ पाथ मेरे
How
लिए
much?
आप
How
क्या
many
रिकमेंड करते हैं?
Ar-Razak labs have you done so far?
मोस्ट ऑफ द लैब्स आई हैव डन सर.
Part two. I'm talking about part two.
नो सर, पार्ट 2 नॉट येट.
That is what you have to do.
ओके सर.
If you do part two labs, you can go as a Linux administrator. If you do part two labs, you can go as a cloud administrator. If you do part two labs, you can go as a security guy. It covers many,
ओके.
many things. And if you don't want to work in army, just say, I don't want to go into the military services, go to the private side. They will hire you. Banking, financial services, right? Telecommunication, because they look for disciplined candidates, right? But तुम्हारा resume उसको resonate करे. The resume needs to resonate that. Okay?
ओके.
Okay.
थैंक यू
Jazakallah
सर.
khair. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha